Tell me how you really feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
The
funny.
funniest thing is that when I was younger, like around 4 or 5 or so, I watched Dad play Bioshock 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah?
Like when I was around 5, like the games you should not let a 5-year-old watch. I was watching.
Oh, man.
I wasn't playing them. Dad was playing them, and I was just watching. And Mom knew that I wasn't able to be stopped because when I wanted to do something, I did it and never stopped.
Oh, that's, yeah, my kiddos like that, and that's
I
cool.
watched Dad play Diablo. Not, well, he and
Isaiah, did you
Mom
have
play
another
Diablo
seaweed?
a lot. I love that. It was fun.
Maybe.
I also tried to play Diablo 3 once. It was hard because I was very bad at it.
I
That
just see
we,
Isaiah gagging in a corner.
oh, Isaiah.
I'm I'm
It's
I'm
okay.
keep I'm trying to eat the whole thing because I don't want to like waste it, but like it's just not
Then just eat the. You're
okay. I'm
making me
trying to
very jealous and very, very mad at the same time.
I can like mail this to you or something.
That's how I get if my husband like takes one of my things that I brought for me and he's drinking it and he's like, this is disgusting, and I'm like, stop drinking it then, it's fine. Yeah, that's how I get.
One time I had alligator rolls
My
at
internet. I don't know if y'all can see me.
I didn't like them, but at the same time I loved them because they like had such weird tastes.
Alligator rolls, that's awesome.
They were about this big and there was a pack of 8 of them.
Wow. Alright, guys, I want to get us back on the math track here. So what did you guys get for this first one?
I got 39.9.
Okay, what about the rest of you guys? And Vivi, I gotta say, I appreciate how you kind of talked through the process there. I think that's really helpful, especially after a weekend and a long week. It's so true that sometimes you just gotta, you know,
Yeah.
get practicing on it. Hi, Santi.
Sorry, my internet cut out.
Oh, that's okay. You just come back in when you can. That's good. So Vivi got 39.9. What about the rest of you guys?
That's what I got.
That's what you got? Cool. That's what I got too. And that's what you get when you multiply. Jackson got it? Good. That's what you get when you multiply 140. What would I put as my rate?
0.5.
9.5.
We wouldn't want to put 9.5. Oh, Isaiah.
Which is 0.095.
Yeah, very, very good. Because when we have
I was
our
trying to do it in my
rate,
head. That wasn't a good idea.
well, that's all right. Sometimes that works. But sometimes when we have our percentage, remember you got to move it 2 spaces to the left to turn it into a decimal. And
This
anytime
is
you move
what
a
my
spot,
accountant aunt had to help me with. I'm not good with decimals and percentages.
oh, that's okay.
I'm good with both of them on their own. I'm good with decimals and then percentages, but I can't do both of them. I don't know how to calculate that.
Remembering how to do it, yeah. And sometimes you can get away with actually typing in the percentage and not having to worry about that. I wonder if Desmos does that. Oh, that's okay. No problem. Gosh, that's totally fine. Let's see. I'm just
Yeah, I
curious.
find myself forgetting about every single thing I've learned in math over the weekend and then having to relearn it all.
And that's a real thing that happens just because your brain actually goes into a different mode of thinking on the weekend. You're thinking about home stuff and family stuff and all that. Oh yeah, I was thinking there would be like a percentage thing on here. Let's see. Everybody's interested in Isaiah and his seaweed saga. Oh, there is a percentage there. I wonder if that, okay, 140 times 9.5%. Oh, it changes it to 9.5% of. times 3. No, it doesn't do that. I wonder if you have to go 140 times 3 and then 9.5. Oh, there you go. So in Desmos, you can go 140 times 3 and then take 9.5% of that. So that is an option. So if you forget about the whole decimal thing, it does work. Oh, you guys. Oh, isn't 420 like a bad thing?
Yes.
Is that what that is?
hmm
I don't know. Is it a bad thing?
It's a meme, so people just blindly say it without knowing what the
Okay,
origins
I'm
are.
letting my dog
It's not
tell
too
you.
bad.
Origins,
It's just like I think it's like a number correspondent to smoking or weed or something.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
and I
not
know it's
as
more
bad
funny.
as a lot of other
Oh,
memes, but
Ready?
since it's a meme, people don't really understand it and just say it to be funny.
A
But
little
I
again, a little,
understand it.
a little.
Oh, it means
Yeah,
good.
Lola.
Do they like the seaweed, Isaiah?
Oh, I think they kind of like it. Yeah, they're eating it. I'm not gonna feed
You're
them
the
too much because
chosen
it
one,
might
Isaiah.
make them sick, but I give them a little bit.
All right. You're so nice. They're so cute.
Isaiah, you were the
Thanks.
chosen one. Then Emperor Palpatine.
You guys. Well,
Took
thank you
over
for
your
explaining
soul.
that to me. Okay. So today, guys, we're going to do another formula. We're going to do the compound interest formula. And this isn't a certain, this is a little bit, this is probably closer to your credit card insurance. You get interest that's calculated every month and added onto your balance instead of like a flat rate like simple interest is. Okay, so this one, it's just a different formula, that's all. And then there's a vocab thing in, I think that's in, let's check that out real quick. I think that's in Moodle or Math Excel. I can't remember. Let's see. So the vocab quiz is just math vocab. And it looks like, oh, it's just a matching thing in Moodle. So that's pretty cool. And what can you do? Well, and Junior, I'm going to get back to that. That's a really, really, really good question. It's a really good question. But when you match up these definitions, guys, what do you do if you don't remember? What could you do?
Look it up on Google.
Exactly. Just use Google. Look it
Or
up.
try to figure out the other
Yeah, I
ones
guess that
and
works.
cancel out ones that you don't.
This is a very short one.
Exactly. Guys, did you hear what Vivi said? She
Yeah.
said figure out the ones that you do know and then try and cancel out.
And
Oh yeah, I do that a lot.
Do that
whittle it down.
Yeah, whittle it down. And I believe I have it open where you can do as many attempts as possible on this.
Great, now I want to whittle. My mom has a whittling knife and she whittled a wooden boot before.
A wooden boot?
A wooden boot.
You should see what my
Whittled.
grandpa has carved.
That's pretty cool.
He carved this huge apple
Whittle
like
it down.
out of a chainsaw and gave it to my old school, but my old school sold it
What?
to a Chick-fil-A though. So now a Chick-fil-A has the big apple that he carved with a chainsaw.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And Kira, you're totally right. We would narrow it down. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. My brain, of course, goes to what Moe's whittles in The Office. Vivi, you know what?
Yes. The fat little baby.
That's what my brain is thinking. Too
My
much
face
Office.
was so blank because I was thinking of that.
We've got
The Office
on the
is such
brain.
a good movie.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed.
Oh
with
wait,
it.
I just said movie. No.
I know what you meant. I gotcha.
It's a movie?
I wish that'd be awesome. Well, you can watch no, what's it called?
Oh my god, yeah. With the
Threat level midnight.
Quiz.
Yes, that's on there now.
It's on YouTube. They have like the whole thing.
That's awesome.
It's so funny.
Aiden, I love your ranting today.
I said I'm done.
Okay. I love it though. It's pretty funny. It's awesome.
It is because these peasants are aggravating me.
They're aggravating. Don't let them aggravating. Kira's correcting you. You guys, you're so funny. Okay. So let us talk about interest. Okay. So Junior was kind of bringing up the whole free money thing with credit cards. What did he say? So I get free money every month because I have a credit card. And no, it wouldn't work that way. The whole free money thing would be interest on a bank account, right? If you have a bank account and you earn interest on that bank account, that is free money that you're making off
So
of
the
your
bank
money.
gets free money?
No, you earn extra money for keeping your money at that bank.
Oh, nice.
So like if but it's a different type of account, and sometimes they have different rules. So for
But don't
example,
you give money to the bank to have a bank account or no?
yeah, that's what you do.
That really hurts.
You're really just getting like a discount on having the money at the bank? Or what?
No.
Well, it's sometimes they'll say, okay, you have this like access checking account or a savings account, that's right.
Mhm.
And if you deposit, let's say $500 into
Mhm.
this account and keep it there for a certain amount of time, then you'll earn a certain percentage extra. So instead of having $500 in there next year, you might have like $510 or something like that. That would be a lot of interest, but
what if you had a higher amount of money?
right, that's a really good question. If you have like $1,000 in there, it's always a percentage that you earn. So taking like, let's say you earn 5% interest, okay? So if you have
5% interest, that's a lot for 1,000.
That sure is, yeah. I'm just picking a certain amount. I'm not really sure.
So
You
I
could
feel
look
like
up
what
different.
if someone got like $1 billion and then just put the $1 billion in a bank and then got like millions of dollars out of it? That could be like a whole business almost.
Well, that's a really good. You're describing investing and stuff, and what people do when they have a lot of money is they'll invest their money into different areas like that. Yeah.
Well,
right.
Wasn't that 50? Oh, wait, no.
Right, Vivi, that's what you're thinking. So if we have like $500 and if we take 5% of that, actually Desmos is pretty awesome. Watch, you can go 5% of 500 and it calculates it for you. That's 25. But if we take 5% of 1,000, that's going to be $50. So you'll definitely, the more money you keep in that bank, and stocks, yeah, Junior, it's fun to do that. And they have certain like things called, I don't know much about it, but it's called like, they have different firms where you can give them a bunch of money and then they will invest it for you. So they have different firms like that. I can't remember, but my husband wanted to get into that. We just never had the money to do it. So it's actually a really nice way to make money. Now, credit cards, on the other hand, that's where it's not so awesome. That's where if you have a credit card and you use up the whole balance at the end of the month, if you don't pay off that balance at the end of the month, then that interest kicks in and you have to pay extra money because you didn't pay off the money. So, yeah, it's kind of bleh. Isaiah, that's hilarious. I like that. Step one, yeah.
I mean,
But it would have to be
that's a
smaller.
surefire way for a free 3D printer.
That's
So my
funny.
3D printer didn't print good, so I printed another one.
What did you say, Vivi?
It would have to be much smaller.
Yes, it would.
So can you just cheat the system and gain interest with a bunch of money off your credit card and then just use your debit card so your credit score can't get low?
You have to be careful about stuff like that because some of it's illegal.
And that's a really good question because
Well, I didn't say I was going to do that.
No, it's a good question because what people get confused about, no, you're not having my Pop-Tart, my goodness. What a lot of people yeah, Arden.
Yeah, there was a
that's
whole thing on
illegal.
that.
Oh my goodness, Kitty. Oh, Pop-Tart. Guys, I found
Those
the
things,
Hostess Cupcake Pop-Tarts.
oh, those things are so good. The thing I love about them is you get them from like a vending machine, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna get a Pop-Tart, but there's two.
Yeah,
Two,
you're
like,
so
whole
right.
Pop-Tarts, and it's sick.
Pop-Tarts.
Are awesome. Pop-Tarts for life.
Oh, it was my cat. My boy kitten, he likes to seriously try and oh, Sarah, gotta tell you, Sarah, you'll have to get the
I haven't either.
you'll have to get, and Vivi, you guys will have to get like the real sugary kind. Oh my gosh, I have a
What? Wait, where'd you get that?
the laser pointer on my
Keep
sides.
it like it. I like the pointer. You can
There you
point it.
go. Interest.
Fancy. Your cat's gonna go crazy on the screen now, though.
I think Muffin is going to try and murder it since the laser pointer exists, and she's going to try and destroy my computer. I don't think that's a good
Oh,
thing.
that's a good point. Get it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, guys, I'm running out of time here. I just saw the time with
Okay,
running a little bit late
focus
today.
time.
So I'm going to yeah. Oh yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. But that's okay. We're getting to our point here. But Aiden, you actually brought something up about credit cards, and I just want to clarify. When you have a savings account, that's where you're actually making extra money. But with credit cards, it's actually extra money that you have to pay, which is annoying. But so like at the end of the month, let's say you maxed out your whole credit card, so you have a $500 balance on your credit card. So at the end of the month, the credit cards typically have really high interest rates. So let's say you have a credit card that has 18% interest, which is really common for Capital One credit cards. And
Are we sponsored?
oh, no, we are not sponsored by Capital One.
Oh, I wish.
Right? Because Capital One, Junior, that's really awesome, by the way. Having the savings account and keeping it like that, that's really cool. But so let's say that you have not paid off your $500 balance. Let's say you still have $500 left to pay on that credit card at the end of the month. Now, for the following month, now you don't have to pay $500, but you have to pay $500 plus the $90 of interest.
Oh, God.
So now you owe $500.
I see now why my mom is getting me a debit card, which I would prefer anyways.
Debit cards are much better because that's based on money that's really there. In this case, you're
Instead
borrowing
of just
money.
like, here's an online check.
Right? And let's say that the next month, let's say you didn't finish paying off the $590. Let's say you paid a $50 payment. So you owe $540 now.
So debit cards will prevent you from getting into debt.
Right. Debit cards, they won't let you, they won't work if you don't have any money in there. So it's pretty cool. So now, on top of that $540, we add $97.20. Do you guys see this? Isn't this insane? So you end up owing $637 after 2 months. It's crazy.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it adds up so quick. It's
Why
scary.
doesn't everybody just get a debit card?
Because debit cards are based off of money that's there. Credit cards are so like alluring because, you know, you can
So credit
borrow.
cards are like impulsive buyers.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Or
I mean,
It's based on your credit.
it can be helpful when you're making like a like straight purchase of a lot of money.
Right. Because it builds your credit, and sometimes if you have an emergency and you don't have the money, like let's say you have to fix your car, sometimes it's helpful because it can be there in an emergency, but you do have to pay it back. And that's and usually if you pay, like, if you make payments that are bigger than what you would have to pay for interest, it's okay, but it's tricky. Debit cards are definitely the way to go. Definitely.
The way to go.
They
I
serve
still
their
wouldn't really
purpose.
want a credit card
And
because I
sometimes,
don't like being in debt.
yeah,
I'm in debt right now, kind of, because I
Parker.
got boots.
Yeah, and it's just not a good way to feel. You're right. We have a lot of medical debt. And
Wait, Isaiah, you specifically are in debt?
Yes, I got boots, and I gave my mom the money, and I thought it was enough money, but it wasn't enough money.
oh,
So now
yeah.
I still have to pay him off.
You have to pay your mom back?
Yeah.
Oh, so that kind of debt, not government debt.
No, not government debt.
Mom debt.
Mom debt,
Which
yeah.
can be worse.
Can be.
I like how you worded that. Okay, so let's talk about now the difference between simple and, oh my gosh, Kira, you're too nice to your friends, I tell you. You have to get collected. No, I'm just kidding. That happens though sometimes. We've had people borrow us money, and feels good to pay them back. It sure does. So okay, so simple interest is only calculated on the initial amount of the loan. So like if you take out a big chunk of money for a car, you're going to get a certain percentage on top of that extra that you have to pay for just for borrowing that loan. But compound interest is kind of what I was showing you with your credit card. Okay, it's calculated on the principal and then on whatever interest you earned that following month. So it's interest on interest. Keeps going. And instead of calculating it every month, like I was showing you with the credit card, there's a formula for that. So you'll have problems like this that say $1,000 is compounded annually. Oh man. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, that's what parents do, is they'll borrow the cold hard cash from those kids there.
Even though money is usually the opposite, because it sits in your wallet, which heats up, and it's very twisty, thin, and soft.
Right?
Not
Isn't
cold.
that's so interesting. It is not.
Cold hard cash is they're probably talking about coins.
That is so
Coins
interesting.
are always cold. And
Oh,
hard.
no matter what you do, I tell you. Okay, so guys, let's do this example together here. So this is the formula for compound interest. So this would be for that credit card stuff. So this is what you want to have written down. And A is your compound interest amount. So it's the amount of interest after a certain amount of time. P is the principal. That's the initial amount that you borrow. Okay, so like if it's a $500 credit card, that's what that principal would be. R is the rate. Again, that percent has to be a decimal. N is the number of times a year. So that's the number of times every year that interest is calculated. So if it's a credit card interests are calculated every month. So how many times a year would that be? If it's compounded monthly, how many times a year is that? $12. Yeah, good. Totally right. 12 times a year calculated monthly. And then T is the number of years. So if we wanted to figure out how much compounded interest, okay, let's say you have a really big loan here. We borrowed $9,000 and it's compounded annually. So what does compounded annually mean? How many times is that interest calculated if it's compounded annually?
By year, wouldn't it?
By year, yeah, once a year, yeah, at a rate of 7% for 21 years. So we would go 9,000 times 1 plus, what would I put for my rate? What would that be as a decimal?
0.07.
Yep, 7%. Yeah, good job, Aiden. You were totally right. 1, 2, and Sarah, you got it. 0.07, that's my rate. N is the number of times a year, and it's compounded annually, so that's 1.
What is the 1?
This first one, good question. That's what we call just a constant in an equation. Sometimes there's just numbers in an equation that mathematicians have found the pattern, and that's why it stays that way. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, no sorries. We're good. And then now we're going to raise that to a certain power. It's going to be the number of times. Oh, how did I do that? There we go. The number of times that it's compounded times the number of years, 21 years. So this would be like a school loan, I would say. Because school loans take a while to pay off.
I'm not sure I understand fully, but...
This is why I don't really want to go to college, because everyone talks about having to pay it off for like years.
Right, you do, but then it's worth it, because then you get the epic jobs there.
Yeah.
You get credibility from going to college.
Right, you do. Helps you in there. Helps you with the jobs there. Seconds later, your hand is gone. Oh, that's what you're doing. You're typing on my other board there. All of a sudden, little things were showing up in chat. That's because my little friend here is biting my keyboard in my hand. Hacker cat. Yeah, seriously. He's hacking my world here. Okay, so what we're doing was we're just plugging things into this formula, and then we go right into Desmos and we type it in. You can type it in exactly how it's written. Remember, if you do order of operations, you know, you got to do division first and all that good stuff. Oops. There we go. And we raise it to the 1 times. Okay, so for the power, you have to raise it to just 1 power. There we go. So once you type it in, you find out, guys, look at this interest that you earn. You earn, or you have to pay. Oh, this is the total amount with that. After 21 years at 7% interest, you're at $37,265.06. Isn't that insane? That's crazy. Yeah, and I'm going to double check that using order of operations just to make sure I calculated that correctly. So inside parentheses, it would be 1.07, and then that's raised to the 21st power.
There will be videos telling me how to do this again, right?
Right, and I will
need to
post
go over it a
this.
few times, I bet.
Yeah, and this is just a formula, and we'll do another example to show it, definitely. But this is just a formula. That's all that's tricky about it. So let's do another example here. Okay, so here is our formula, and we're just going by this formula here. And you're going to want to have it in front of you just so you can enter stuff into that formula. Okay? So let's kind of take it piece by piece. We're going to figure out the compound interest amount. So what would my principal be here? What's my P? What's my initial amount?
4,000.
4,000. Yeah, that's the initial amount that we borrowed. So that's my P. Then I just leave that 1 there. What about my interest rate?
0.011.
let's see. We have 11%, and we're going to move it
It would be
2 times.
0.11.
Oh yeah,
Yep, you're right.
that's
okay.
right.
Typically, you guys are dealing with an extra 0 in there because it's like 9% or something.
Yeah,
But this is good.
I get it.
Now, the number of times this interest is calculated, and it says it's compounded quarterly. So what does that mean? How many times a
Oh, we have
year?
to divide 6 by 4.
We would divide it by 4, yeah. And you don't have to divide the 6 by 4. It just goes right into that formula.
Oh, okay.
Underneath the interest rate, that's where you put a 4, because that's the number of times it's calculated. And then we're going to raise it to the power of the number of times it's calculated, so 4 times 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy formula. Compound interest it's huge. That's why it's always interest based off of usually stuff you have to pay. Usually you have to make a lot of money or be in like high stocks to earn stuff like this.
Desmos is my best friend.
Desmos is our friend here. You are so right, because we don't want to calculate this fund. We want to go to Desmos. So we're going to go 4,000 times 1 plus. So I'm just entering it in exactly how it's shown there. And then you just have to make sure that you raise it to the power. You got to do the multiplication. You don't want to enter it like that. We're going to raise it to the power there. So this one, the total amount that you would now have to pay is $7,670. And then 50 cents. Usually you're going to round it to the nearest hundredth. Yeah. And with that, you guys are absolutely correct. With that, we are at time. I apologize for the crazy timeness here. Now, if you would like to hang out a bit, let's see if I have another example. I do have another example. So if you want to do another example quick, you're welcome to. But if you're like, I'm frazzled, I'm done, you're free to go.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's on my home. It's on my
Bye, Parker. Bye. On your snapshot?
to-do list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I missed the live session.
Oh, Trey, I'll fix that for you.
It was on December 9th.
December 9th?
Yeah.
Okay. You are good to go, my friend. I will take care of that for you.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
I'll see another.
Okay, you're going to see another? No problem. No problem, Sarah. Yeah, if you guys want to go, you're free to go. Otherwise, we're going to do another example really quick.
Bye.
Bye. No problem. So what I like to do, guys, is I like to see that formula in front of me every single time. So I'll actually go back because it's not on the next slide. And I'm just going to write the formula down super quick. Because okay.
Apparently, there's a 16-year-old cat at the Animal Humane Society that needs help with behavior.
Oh.
Would they even be able to misbehave with how old they are?
Why would they try to help? I feel like they should just let it live like the best life it can at that point, kind of. Like,
yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. So Isaiah, what is that problem from? Where's the 168.14? Oh, is that from the previous problem?
No, it's from one of the assignments that I think I'm missing. It's finding rate, principal, time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we will do that one next. Can we do that one after this one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll do that one after this one.
I think I took a picture on how I did that one because I was confused with it too.
No problem.
Oh.
We will tackle that one after this one. That's a great question. Okay, so let's plug this. No. Okay, let's plug this into the problem here. So we have A equals, what would my principal be here?
13,000.
Yep.
Oh,
and
that's the first one.
That's the first piece of information. It's usually
Okay.
going to be your biggest number there.
Yeah.
And then what about my rate? What would I put for my rate?
0.08.
0.08. We take that rate and turn it into decimal. And then it says it's compounded semi-annually. What does that mean? How many times a year would that be?
1 time every 2 years.
The first way you said it was good. It would be twice a year.
Oh.
Because it would be halfway through the year and then again. So almost every year. That's what I think about. So semi-annually is twice a year. And if you guys ever get confused on what they're saying for that, then just Google the word. They'll totally tell you what to do there. So then again, we're going to put that semi-annually amount in my exponent times the number of years. And then now it's just a Desmos. Do you guys want to try and calculate it in Desmos?
Okay.
Why don't you guys plug that into Desmos and see what you get?
Every time my grandma Brenda goes out on trips and travels and stuff, she always brings me a license plate from where she was. This is a Las Vegas license plate.
That's so cool.
And this is a Utah
That's cool.
license plate made of a bunch of other license plates for a national park.
Oh, that's awesome.
Are those is that made of like real license plates?
Yep.
Wow. That's cool.
That's so cool. You should have like a wall of license plates.
That's what I want to do, but we're moving out soon, and I don't want to knock nails in the walls.
That makes
my
sense.
friend made like a big one of those with a bunch of Minnesota license plates. It says something, but I forgot what it says.
Those were with a bunch of Utah license plates.
Cool.
Very cool. Okay, so Vivi, you put it in. You got 15,000 there. I'm wondering if we missed. Let's see. Let us see, because it says we're supposed to get, and that could happen if it's not raised to the power. Let's try typing it in. We're going to go with 13,000.
It was the power of 2.
This would be to the power of 2 times 20.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, that's okay, and that's what happens. That's what's very easy to make a mistake here is with
303,264. Okay.
So we raise it. So we would type it into the power. Oh, not 2. We would type it into the power of 40.
Oh.
And then we get 62,413.
Okay.
So just don't forget to do that math before you type it in. I would definitely do that. Otherwise, it makes it too hard to get it. Because look what happens in Desmos if you don't do it that way. If you try and type it in as 2 times 20, it does that. And that we don't want to do. We want to keep that. Oh, if you leave it in parentheses, though, that works. So you could type it in like that with parentheses.
Because then they're separated.
Yeah, so that works. Cool, so we would get choice number 2 would be our answer. So does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Okay. So it's just a lot of heavy calculation. Now let's get to Isaiah's question there, because that was a really good
I
question.
am going to dip.
You going to say it again?
I'm going to dip. I am going to go.
Oh, no problem. You go right ahead.
See you next live session, guys.
Yeah.
Have a nice break, Jennifer.
Have a good break. See you later. Okay, so Isaiah, this is a great question. So for this one, if we go, we'll type in our simple interest formula. Interest equals principal
Mhm.
times rate times time. And then we're just going to type in everything that we know. We know the I is 168.
Mhm.
The principal is 1400. The rate we don't know. And then the time is 4 years. So
Mhm.
now we can take it piece by piece here. Because multiplication, you can do that in any order.
Mhm.
We can multiply this 1400 times this 4.
Mhm.
So we get, I don't know what 1400 times 4 is. What's 1400 times 4? 1400 times 4 is,
5600.
you got it,
Oh, I
5600.
got it in my head. Jeez.
Did you really? That's
I like
awesome.
half guessed that.
That's very good. And
Thanks.
then the opposite, now we have a one-step equation. So we want to get that rate by itself, so we do the opposite of multiplying by 5600. What's the opposite of multiplying?
Dividing.
Dividing. So we're going to divide by 5600. And then what a lot of people do is they'll take 5600 and divide that by 168. But we don't want to do that. We want to go 168 divided by 5600. We want to actually type it in so we get a decimal. So when we do that, we get 0.03 is the rate. And what do you think we got to do to that rate before we give our final answer?
Put the dot into two spaces to the right.
That's right. Very good. So we get 3% interest.
Mhm.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, thank you.
I would say just be very careful to take the little number divided by the big. Don't go 5600 divided by 168. A lot of people get that confused.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm gonna snip this.
should
Oh
I
no,
undo
it's
it?
okay.
I can
Sure.
undo it. I can undo it. Wait. Undo. There we go.
Thanks.
Snip away, my friend.